Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we actually have the full-on scan for Dragon Ball Legends, so I wanted to talk a little more about, the upcoming Gotenks, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe, of course, if you are new for more content, as well as that notification so you don't miss anything we upload here on the channel. So the first thing I want to mention is the other scan. It's kind of cut off right here, but the other scan does in fact confirm that Zenkai Blue Cooler is coming, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, we have a little bit of just a little bit of information about Gotenks. So what this video will pertain is we're going to be talking about Gotenks, what I think could wind up happening for him, buffs and things like that he would be applying to other teams in terms of being in a unit and another color option for these specific teams he'd be on and things of that nature. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, and let's go ahead and get started. So huge shout out to Dokkan and Legends for both getting a Gotenks. They actually do this a lot where they get like the same stuff or like same stuff in close proximity, and it's not by mistake. They do it intentionally. So that's pretty cool that they're doing it again. And I love Gotenks, so I'm excited about this. He's such a look at how can you not hold on, let me just say, how can you not love this guy with this? Look at that. Look at this windscreen. Look at the windscreen. Look at the ultra Pinocchio nose. How can you not love this? I'm summoned just for the windscreen alone, literally. All right, so in terms of Gotenks, they don't say whether or not he's an Ultra Space Time Bender. They don't say anything about it. Most of the time, we don't actually get an individual unit release either. Most of the time, there's at least 2 characters, so they're not really even saying anything else at all about this. So there still remains to be a lot of information. So really, the only little tidbit of notable information here is, as Goresh says here, when transformed, SS3 Gotenks is an overwhelming attacker, and his transformation seems to last for 30 counts. So first and foremost, I want to say it's pretty obvious he was going to be a time transformation. He's freaking Gotenks. It was going to happen, for one. So in terms of what, let's just kind of look at it from the prism of fusions. Fusion Warrior did not need another attack type unit. They need a support unit because they are already hyper offensive anyway. Like, it doesn't hurt to get another bruiser like that, you know, another damage dealer. It doesn't hurt to get another high-end offensive option, but they kind of want a unit that can kind of support. So what I'm kind of looking forward to is, because it specifically says, and Goresh is very accurate with his his translations, excuse me. Goresh transforming what? Nani? No, transformation though. He says when transformed, right? So when transformed, and then he also mentions SS3 Gotenks. So I'm hoping Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks, which should be the base card, as you see the art here, which actually parallels the Red Gogeta art. You got Super Buu back there in terms of like paralleling the other art. It was Janemba back there. You have Goten and Trunks here, and then the finger in the air. Yeah, this is clean. I love this art. That's really good. Anyways, yeah, I'm hoping that Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks can kind of apply some of that stuff that you need fusions to have access to. But I don't want to only look at this unit from the prism of fusions, right? Because I think it's important to look at the other teams he has access to, right? So if we actually pull up the pre-existing SS3 Gotenks, and we'll kind of be able to basically piece it together from there. So he has access to hybrids, kids, Fusion, Fusion Warrior. The difference is Fusion is the Fusion Dance, right? Fusion Warrior and Super Saiyan 3. He's going to gain SS3 on transformation, so otherwise he's going to have all the same stuff. But, you know, funnily enough, he should have Super Saiyan instead, which means you can actually run him with the blue Bardock and just basically never transform him. So, I don't know, that's kind of wonky. It's a video type deal, but not something that I would say is competitive, right? Anyways, so he's going to have access to these tags, right? The most notable one other than fusions, obviously, is going to be hybrids. So I think it's important to look at hybrids and what they have to offer currently. So he's going to be an offensive unit. Hybrids can always use more options first and foremost. What is hybrids' most desperate color that they need the most? Well, it happens to be blue. Blue is the color they need the most. That doesn't mean this Gohan's not good. That doesn't mean any other blue Gohans or any other blue characters in here that don't specifically buff hybrids aren't good, but they need a blue. Well, if we look at fusions, they wouldn't mind getting a blue either, right? They wouldn't mind getting a blue. The pre-existing one is Gogeta, but you don't mind getting another blue, right? If we look at hybrids, again, they just got a red. I can assure you, from the prism of hybrids, this guy will not be red. They just got, literally, where is he at? I don't even see him in here. I really don't see him. I'm crazy. Am I blind? Anyways, I'm not seeing him, but they just got that Trunks. Yo, hold on. This is going to drive me nuts. Maybe he's not on the site for some reason. I don't see him. He's actually not here. I'm going to have to tell Renzi about that. And I'm gonna go crazy if I don't. I'm like, there's no way he's actually not on here. Okay, yeah, they just got the red Trunks. And he's buffing hybrids. I believe he gets that. I believe he actually has hybrids outright, but he picks up the secondary stat, which is defense, after a certain star count. But anyways, they don't necessarily need that, while fusions do, right? They could use a red, right? Fusions could definitely use a red. Same goes for green. Hybrids should be fine with greens. But what I will say is this guy, he's really good as a green fighter for this team. His buffs are really good for this team. They love that. But the other units, they're kind of old or like blast-based in terms of this guy not being old per se, but being blast-based. And this team kind of has this clear dichotomy between being blast-based or like physical, right? So that's kind of how things work for them. So there's a number of different ways that he could work well as a hybrid option that don't necessarily translate to him working super well for Fusion Warrior. And everybody is just looking for Fusion Warrior to get all the love, all the treatment, all this stuff. And Future 2, same type of deal. So people were really upset with that missing red Trunks where he wasn't the exact color that Future needed, even though blue would have been good for hybrids as well. You know, it's just kind of, you have to look at it from multiple aspects, right? So I don't really mind any color for this guy as long as he's not yellow or purple. I kind of don't mind any color. And the thing about that is that actually extends to both teams that he would be applicable to. There's some really good high-end yellow and purple units in here. You got Zenkai Gohan. Obviously, not most people have him. You have the purple Trunks, who's a really good buffer for this team and deserves to be ran. You have some really good yellows like Gohan. Future Gohan is aged kind of well just because he's a sacrificial unit. You have I don't want to consider you. Sorry, you're not that great. You have LF units, so like you don't really need some of these colors, man. So there's that. But basically, any other color than them, I'm cool with in terms of the way Gotenks could work. But really, that's all they really say about him is that he's an offensive unit post-transformation. So I want to know what you guys think in terms of Gotenks. What team do you think he'll wind up primarily being an option for? Like, what do you think his primary Z ability boost will be? Do you think he'll get that treatment that some characters get, but most characters kind of don't? I believe Trunks, like I said, and Cell are some of the examples that just came out. Some other units have had it where they get that secondary stat at like 3-star or something. Was it like Hit had that first or something like that? Anyways, so numerous characters have it, but not very many, right? Do you think you'll get that treatment, or do you think you'll need the 6-star to actually get the second actual team in the Z ability? So we'll see what happens with that. What do you think his primary will be? How do you think SS Gotenks will function? Because I think since his transformation is so short, it's going to be one of those things where if I had Gotenks in my hands, right, it'd be one of the situations where if I'm playing with Gotenks on my team, I'm probably not transforming until like literally the last second. Because you got to think about it. He's so gimmicky. He's Gotenks. They might give him some sort of really bad restriction when he's non-transformed again. Excuse me, hiccup there. Just like some of the Gokus in the game that transform. They have bad callbacks or drawbacks, like the Kaioken Gokus, basically. I don't want that to happen, but it's Gotenks. It'll probably happen, right? So you got to think about that. If I'm going to transform, it's going to be at the literal last second. Maybe he's my last fighter. So I'm expecting Super Saiyan Gotenks to be really good to where he doesn't need to transform. Long story short. Because I think 30 counts winds up being, what, the shortest one in the game? Is that the shortest one? I think 45 is the shortest otherwise. I think 30 might wind up being the shortest. I'm not going to double check, but I feel like if 30 is the shortest, he might be tied with somebody for having 30. But not very many characters have a timer on the transformation anyway. So that's what I kind of want to throw out there for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your support. If this is your first time on the channel, we'd love to have you stick around. Please consider subscribing for more content, news, breakdowns, all that stuff, and just theoretical videos. I already did a video on Zenkai Cooler, so I didn't bother talking about him in this one. But if you want to hear my predictions for Zenkai Cooler and stuff like that, check out the video that I have linked down below in the description for you guys, where you guys can hear more about that. So again, that is confirmed to be coming out alongside Gotenks. We don't know exactly when Gotenks is coming. It could be Golden Week. It could be in Ultra Space Time. But one thing I will say is there's a 700-day celebration or so that should be coming out sometime soon. I don't know if Gotenks is tying into that, but most of the time when we do get a VJump scan, the character depicted in said scan comes out 2 to 3 weeks later. So he should not be next week's release, but it could be. Who knows? Anyways, thank you all. Have an awesome day, and I'll see y'all again in the next one.